Day two, delighted to say the King and Queen leading it once again, as they might be for all 5 days. And look at that, Charlotte and Ascot alongside us once again. It just looks that bit better in sunshine, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? The sun is out, the smiles are on the racegoers' faces as we see the first carriage here making its way. And in this first carriage, alongside the King and the Queen, we have the Earl of Halifax and the Countess of Halifax. Now, they are close family friends. The Countess of Halifax was the former sister-in-law of Queen Camilla. She was married to Andrew Parker Bowles' brother. The Halifax's estate, Garraby, has been visited by King Charles and Camilla several times, and the Queen Camilla, she's godmother to the Earl and Countess's son, James Irwin.
And again, the Queen looks incredibly elegant.
She does, doesn't she? We were commenting on the fact that, of course, back in the day, the Queen Queen Elizabeth would always wear bright colours to be seen. Queen Camilla, very much understated. We saw her in the cream yesterday, and again, she's gone for an elegant and muted tone. But I think she's definitely come into her own when it comes to the style stakes.
And the Halifaxes there, the Earl and Countess of Halifax, they live up in Yorkshire. They have the most beautiful place called Garraby. And they had a stud there, and they still breed, but I think they have their horses at Highclere, just a reduced broodmare ban now. But some impressive list of horses they've bred, Bruff, including Shirley Heights.
Yeah, won the Derby.
Yeah.
And Camilla, Countess of Halifax, she was very much a steward and very much part of it. She used to always have a caravan to take her kids around.
Yes.
Horse-drawn caravan, which is very good.
Yes, and one of the horses they've got currently racing is called Moogie, named after their daughter in training with James Hanshaw.
So that's carriage one. Charlotte, who's in the second carriage this afternoon?
In the second carriage, we have the Duke of Edinburgh, the Duchess of Edinburgh, the Right Honourable the Lord Soames of Fletching, and the Lady Sarah Keswick. Now, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh often here at Royal Ascot, and we saw Prince Edward on horseback at the Trooping the Colour Parade at the weekend. He was there as his role as Colonel of the London Guards. Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, she also rides and carriage drives, and their daughter Lady Louise, also an accomplished carriage driver. And the Right Honourable, the Lord Soames, he was a Conservative MP in mid-Sussex for more than 20 years. A life peer since last year, Winston Churchill's grandson. Now, he's been a friend of King Charles for more than 65 years. He was an equerry for the then Prince Charles, and their friendship said to be based on a great deal of mutual humour and banter, I understand. And Lady Sarah Keswick, one of Queen Camilla's oldest friends, has known the King and Queen since the 1970s. She's a keen horse lover and own a race. She used to own a racehorse with Camilla, and they're often seen at events together.
There were some lovely photographs in the newspapers of the King and Queen watching the racing yesterday, and the Queen's stamp is on this royal procession as well, with yesterday her sister and her nephew in it, and it's likewise today, really.
It's just lovely, isn't it? And I think, you know, looking at the photos that we saw yesterday, and it was evident by looking at Camilla's face, wasn't it, just how much she was enjoying the racing, that she was on the edge of her seat, and she's described that feeling of being here, that joy of winning, so you could tell that she's very much taking in what was going on.
Now, I think carriage 3 will be good fun this afternoon. No offence to the other carriages, because we've got the Tyndalls, you can see Zara near side, and a stunning hat. In with the Haggises, William and Maureen. I reckon there'll be some good chat in there.
Yeah, there'll be plenty to talk about in there. William Haggis, as we know, super successful trainer. He's had 14 Royal Ascot winners himself, and he's got a big day today. He's got My Prospero in the feature race. He's also got Relief Rally, a 2-year-old who I really fancy. And his wife Maureen there in the peachy coloured hat. She is very, very much part of the operation. She rides out, she goes racing all the time. They're a proper duo, and she herself a daughter of Lester Piggott.
And he is probably still a brilliant cricketer, William. I imagine he was a bit gutted yesterday, losing out rough in agonising fashion. Mr. Haggis is a talented trainer as well as a sportsman.
He's a proper player, William, and a very, very good trainer. Maureen was a really good equestrian. She was a badminton rider as well as riding races and things. And she rides still, and she's actually very cheeky now.
Now, a familiar face on the far side of carriage 4, Sir Michael Stout, who was overtaken as the winning-most trainer at Royal Ascot yesterday by Aidan O'Brien. And familiar face on the left there too, Charlotte.
Yes, indeed. So we have Lord Lloyd Webber and Lady Lloyd Webber as well. And of course, you know, he's the king of a memorable tune, isn't he, Ed? I think we can say. Phantom of the Opera, Evita Cats, you name it. And also actually a close friend of the king as well. We know he sadly lost his son, Nick, earlier this year, and he revealed how the king had sent him 2 letters and had also sent him bulbs that could be planted to remember his son by. So I think that's a sign of their close friendship, isn't it? And actually his wife, Madeline, is a former equestrian sportswoman herself, so that's a sign of their friendship.
And a super successful breeder and owner of racehorses. I mean, they do themselves a Watership Down stud, which is absolutely stunning property. And I mean, look at the list of horses that they've been associated with, the likes of Dar-Remy, Lartidar, Somidar, Tudan, Hock, a few. And now they've currently got Emily Upton in training, who's an absolute star as well, so super successful.
I remember speaking it was Lord Lloyd Webber, I think we were at Doncaster when Tudan Holt was about on. He was far more interested in cathedrals and the city, but I think he's got a real taste for it. He's really enjoying a day out at the races, and what a thrill it must be to be in carriage 4, where they've also got Lady Spencer Churchill, is it, Charlotte?
Yes, they have as well, Lady Sarah Spencer Churchill, and she was a close friend of Camilla's back from the 1970s. They shared a flat together, I understand, and her late husband, Lord Charles Spencer Churchill, was the son of the 10th Duke of Marlborough, related to Winston Churchill and Princess Diana as well. And I was reading, according to her friends at the time, she wasn't the tidiest Queen Camilla when it came to sharing a flat with her. There's some extra info for you.
That's an exclusive, I didn't know that.
There you are.
Really? So now they come up this famous straight, the crowds along the rails, the village enclosure, which is the near side here. You can just see the umbrellas, not unfurled yet, because the village enclosure where sustainability is so important, carbon net.